Hello everyone, Steve Tober, Sideline Chatter Spotlight. The 2013 state tournament in basketball, one of the great times of the year. We come to you from the West Caldwell Center, home of the Bloomfield Tech Spartans girls and boys basketball teams. Plenty of action in the regular season and the county tournaments. We're going to talk about basketball with some special guests here tonight and also look back on some of the top players and teams this year. Let's first look at the All Super Essex Conference Division teams. The All Division teams will begin with the SEC American, which was won by Seton Hall Prep, who also won their third straight Essex County Tournament title, their fourth straight SEC American Division crown. Let's look at our All Division SEC American squad. We lead off with Spencer Weiss of Seton Hall Prep, who's headed to Princeton to find 6'5" swingman. Akbar Hoffman, the sharpshooting junior guard from Eastside. Raquan Kelly, the senior guard from North Tech. Jameel Patterson, the senior guard of Bloomfield. And Temple Gibbs, the outstanding junior guard from Seton Hall Prep. And of course, the brother of the stars, Sterling Gibbs and Ashton Gibbs, who have gone on to college basketball. Ashton, of course, had a great career at Pitt. And our coach of the year in the SEC American, Bryant Garvin of Eastside. Now let's move down to the second division of the SEC, our all SEC Liberty team, headed off by Montclair's Talib Swan, who has helped lead Jerry Hill's team to an outstanding 20-win season. He's joined by Tavon Bennett of Orange, Jarrell Murray of University, Matt Lane, the big 6'8" center from MKA, and Isaiah Jennings, the point guard from Montclair, who has been offered by Moravian College, is one of the top guards in all of North Jersey and one of the standouts for Jerry Hill's team in 2012-2013. And our coach of the year, who else but Jerry Hill of Montclair, who has led the Mounties in his first year to an outstanding season in the Liberty Division Championship. Let's move down to the SEC Colonial Division, our all-stars there, headed off by Central's Kewan Savage, who's had an outstanding year for the Blue Devils, who went undefeated in the SEC Colonial. He's joined on the first team by Nadir Alston of Bloomfield Tech, the fine 6'7" forward who plays for the Spartans here at the West Caldwell Center. Had an outstanding year being recruited by Division IIs and IIIs around New Jersey. Alex Caslander of Verona, Nasir Farmer of Central, and Amir Flagg of Weequahic. And our coach of the year, Sean McCray of North Central. What a job Sean has done with reloading that lineup for the Blue Devils. Now to our SEC's fourth division, the Independents, a division won by Milburn during the regular season and headed off on its all-division team by Everson Davis, the outstanding junior guard from Newark West Side. Young man averaging more than 20 points a game, being pursued by Ivy Leagues and several prep schools. An outstanding all-around player. Joining Everson on the all-SEC Independents, Brian Barkley of Milburn, L. Ron Robinson of Newark Academy, Ben Keisel of Milburn, and Nauer Alley of West Essex, their outstanding football, basketball star. Nauer being pursued by several small Division III colleges for football, but a super basketball player up at West Essex. And our coach of the year, Roger Blind of Milburn. What a job Roger has done producing college players. He has 4 players currently playing at the college division. And Roger, our coach of the year in the SEC Independents. The SEC Freedom Division, our 5th division. Let's look at that all-division team for 2012-13, headed off by Cedar Grove's Paul Rufo. What a job he did. A little point guard, a 3-sport star at Cedar Grove, leading the Panthers to a 20-win season and also undefeated in the SEC Freedom. Jarrell Pruitt of Arts, Alif Muhammad of Technology, and then the combo from Cedar Grove of 2-guard Joe Slattery, the quarterback of the football team, an outstanding shooter as well, and David Njoko of Cedar Grove, their outstanding 6'4" forward who's been offered in football from Rutgers already, and he still has his senior year ahead of him, the outstanding 6'4" rebounder for Cedar Grove. And Coach Rob Gogarty, who is, of course, our top coach, certainly in the Freedom Division. Now we'll bring you our all-Union County team for the regular season and for the county tournament. And what a county tournament it was with the Patrick School. What a job they did in their first year since moving campuses from down in Port Elizabeth and Elizabethport down to Morris Avenue. And what a job Chris Chavanis' team did in winning the UCT title at Kane University, knocking off Linden and Phil Colecchio's Tigers in the final. We look at our all-Union team, and it's headed off by DeAndre Bembry of the Patrick School, headed to St. Joseph's University. What an outstanding forward he is, an all-around star is Bembry. Tyler Roberson of Roselle Catholic, headed to Syracuse University, has led the Roselle Catholic Lions, who have put together a great talent-laden lineup, upset in the UCT quarters, but certainly a team with talent throughout its lineup and throughout all the classes, and a team to watch for years to come. Damon Lynn of Union Catholic, one of the top scorers in Union County, has been a sensational backcourt ace for Jim Regan Jr.'s team. Quadre Moore, the big center for Linden. Hakeem Rogers for an all-around Elizabeth team. What a job Coach Ballin's team has done in Betsy-Town and putting together a team that's certainly challenged once again in Group 4. And our Coach of the Year, Chris Giovannis of the Patrick School. Chris has stepped in, taking over for his old boss, Kevin Boyle, and has done a super job with now the Patrick School. That's our all-SEC teams and a look at our all-Union County team. When we come back, we'll have some special guests here on Sideline Chatter Spotlight, brought to you by 360 Fitness in Fairfield.
Check out the newest state-of-the-art health club and training facility, 360 Fitness. We are a full-service family fitness center at a 30,000 square foot facility. 360 Fitness offers a full line of brand new life fitness equipment, hammer strength equipment, plus personal training and group fitness classes like spin and Zumba. Our turf fields offer sports-specific training areas. We partnered up with Test Football and Sports Academy to give the most intense training in the area for baseball, lacrosse, soccer, football, basketball, speed and agility, and more. Watch your kids train from the comfort of our waiting room. Try us free for a week. 360 Fitness, Greenbrook Road, Fairfield.
Steve Tober back on Sideline Chatter Spotlight with Dan Romano, the athletic director of Bloomfield Tech, and also in charge of basketball and the Super X's Conference. And Dan, a good season for the SEC. I thought the 5 divisions, a lot of people complimented that. The format seemed to work in terms of competition.
Yeah, I think that's true. I think it's worked out. We've been together in the SEC now for 3 or 4 years. And I think we've finally gotten it right as far as the power scheduling goes. The 5 conferences or the 5 divisions with 7 teams per division seems to work out very well. Most of the divisions are very close with very few teams running away one way or the other. So I think it has worked out well.
Yeah, some of the so-called lower divisions, 4th and 5th divisions, been some exciting teams like Cedar Grove and the Freedom, Milburn doing well in the Independents with the great Roger Blind, and some of the other teams getting a chance to rebuild, reload.
Absolutely. I mean, you got a team like Cedar Grove. I mean, they ran the table this year. When's the last time that they've done that? So that's a great thing. It's a great thing for all of those schools that are not really basketball powerhouses to play against schools that are of equal talent. So I think it has worked out well.
And I know there's some rotational aspect in terms of the 2 or 3 year record. Was there ever thought of putting in what the future would look like in terms of teams with strong JV teams? I guess that gets too complicated.
And it does get too complicated. So that's the one thing in the formula that we really haven't taken into account, and that's future prospects. And I think that's very hard to do. That almost requires somebody to do advanced scouting. So I don't know that we're gonna get to that. I do think we can refine our formula a little bit, and maybe even get away from our formula. Maybe we just start bumping up the top team from a division and bump down the lower team. We'll see how that works out. But we still have another year to go on this rotation, and right now I think it went very well this year.
And Dan, just quickly about Bloomfield Tech, been some tremendous teams through the years here. The Nick Marinello coach teams, not that many years ago with the Deshaun Butlers and Rashawn Dwights and R.J. Halls and Wesley Jenkins, all those great names. And it was quite a run there for Bloomfield Tech basketball. And the team doing fairly well now. It's a different kind of program in a way, but there's been some great history here.
Yeah, great history, and I don't know that we'll ever get back to that. Nick's a great coach. It's obvious what he's done at Hudson Catholic this year, and those are teams that they're once in a lifetime teams. Right now with the group we have, I'll tell you, Coach Howard has done a beautiful job. There's nobody on the floor tonight that really played any significant minutes last year. Nadir Alston, who's a great player for us, got injured early in the year last year, hardly played at all. We were filled with seniors, so everybody out there now is basically an underclassman that really didn't play at all, and we've had a great year. So I think they've done a good job, and maybe the future is bright for us.
Coach Brad Howard's Bloomfield Tech Spartans playing right in back of us here at the West Caldwell Center. Well, Dan Romano, athletic director of Bloomfield Tech, stopping by here on Sideline Chatter Spotlight, and we'll be back with more right after this. And welcome back to Sideline Chatter Spotlight, everybody. Steve Tober with Coach Mike Tierney of Montclair State University, longtime high school coach in North Jersey. And Coach, I don't want to make you feel old, but our Union County writer, J.R. Perricchini will be reaching a half-century mark this year, and you coached him back in the day.
Yes, I did. My first year at Parsippany, Jim was a player for me. A power forward.
Mike Tierney, who does some recruiting for Ted Fiore's staff. It's been an interesting year at Montclair State. Ted had some knee issues, and you've had a coaching staff that stepped in.
It was an enjoyable year. It was more like on-the-job training. Ted ended up going with knee replacement, and Darren Rowe ended up taking a long-time assistant and player for him at St. Peter's, took over for him, and we were young, and it was a rebound year. They ended up with the conference championship the year before, so I think we're on the right track.
Now, you're out in the field. You're seeing a lot of players from all levels, players you certainly want to see in the NJAC at MSU. And people don't realize, though, there's the entrance now of Division II teams that get in the act and that can offer financial packages in addition to the ones.
Yeah, the Division II schools, Felician, Bloomfield, and Caldwell, to name a couple. And also another situation has developed the past couple of years to change the recruiting landscape is the prep schools. A lot of prep schools are offering kids a chance to go Division I and offering them a year of school to get their grades together and test scores. So.
Yeah, the young man, DeAndre Noble at Patterson East Side, I believe is at Petty, and you had Alex Rosenberg from Milburn, your good buddy Roger Belinda went to prep school and then went to Columbia University, so it can work for all different kids.
Oh, yeah, it's a great situation, and, the main thing is hopefully the kids can get to where they want to get. And, again, there's a lot that don't need a year for academics, but they go just to grow physically.
Can you tell us about a few of the North Jersey players that are on the Division III radar? I'm not sure what you can do in terms of saying, but in terms of the talent level, at least in Essex County.
There's a ton of players. Unfortunately, this year, basketball has been good, but the junior class is a very, very strong class. Really, right now is just sitting here, Nadir Austin from Bloomfield Tech. There's a lot of Union County kids we saw last night. The Union has 3 guards, and truthfully, just to name-wise.
Yeah. No, Coach, I know there's so many kids you see, and really, you're interested more in the number of the kid and the uniform that you're watching, and then you're going to go and meet them. But to compete in the NJAC, people don't realize back in the day, the NJAC, you talk about Charlie Brown down at Jersey City State and some of the teams at Stockton, Ramapo, of course, William Patterson and Montclair State have had. It's been a great league for years.
It's probably one of the top Division III leagues in the nation, and we're just we've been down a couple years through the situation we just described with the Division II prep schools, but I think it's on its way back. I mean, it's still good basketball. Pete come to see it, our recruiting classes, and they really just can't believe, how competitive the league is.
Well, people aren't going to realize, I'm about 6'2", but you're about 6'8". You played back in the day at Bloomfield High School. There were players back there that people remember, the Trapukas. A legend, my good friend Art Polakowski, a sports writer who covered me as a writer, thinks of Paul Lape as a legend as a point guard. So Bloomfield, for people not realizing that they're watching Sideline Chatter Spotlight, what a great town that is for basketball.
Bloomfield, yes, it was, and yes, it is again. There were some 3 very good players, Jael Jimenez, Isaiah Dockett, and
Jameel
Patterson, I'm sorry. And back in the day, I wasn't a great player. I sat on the bench and watched a lot. But we had at one point 4 Division I players that won the state championship as juniors. And unfortunately, injuries a year later, they got far, but they just didn't repeat.
Probably the greatest being the 2,000-point scorer, Kelly Trapuka. There aren't too many 2,000-point scorers in Essex County history.
No, he was man among boys when he played, and believe it or not, he could have been All-State in 3 sports when he did play. So, again, his athleticism took him to the NBA, and he had a fine career there.
Coach, you were at Parsippany, Bloomfield, West Essex, Milburn. What do you like about the college game versus the high school or vice versa?
I was there each spot for a couple years. Not that I was the Larry Brown here, but it's a little more dealing with straight basketball. In high school, there's a lot of distractions, and I guess the kids are pretty much bouncing off all different ways with clubs and organizations they belong to and just having fun as kids, where at the college level, the kids come in and they know it's academics and basketball. On a Division III level, it's almost like being at Division I, but there's no scholarship money.
Well, Coach, thanks for a little overview of the Division III college scene. Mike Tierney, assistant coach at Montclair State University. We'll be back with more on Sideline Chatter Spotlight right after this from 360.
Check out the newest state-of-the-art health club and training facility, 360 Fitness. We are a full-service family fitness center at a 30,000 square foot facility. 360 Fitness offers a full line of brand new life fitness equipment, hammer strength equipment, plus personal training and group fitness classes like spin and Zumba. Our turf fields offer sports-specific training areas. We partnered up with Test Football and Sports Academy to give the most intense training in the area for baseball, lacrosse, soccer, football, basketball, speed and agility, and more. Watch your kids train from the comfort of our waiting room. Try us free for a week. 360 Fitness, Greenbrook Road, Fairfield.
Steve Tober back on Sideline Chatter Spotlight with Coach Ricky Pinto of Montclair, a lead assistant to Jerry Hill. I know, tribute to you, Ricky. Jerry says you're like an associate head coach, and I know you love working with Jerry. You come over from Columbia. Things have been very smooth in the first year of Montclair.
Yeah, they've been very smooth going. He's a great guy to work for. He lets me kind of do my own thing, and we have a great mesh together. We go well together, and we do good work together. And he's a coach's. He's a player's coach. The kids get up and play for him, and they do the best they can. And I've never seen a group of kids just go so hard, and they just love the guy. And it's a great place to coach.
And Ricky, you had some great teams at Columbia with Jameel Grace and Yvonne Raymond and some other great players, and some interesting teams, the Kenny Rubenstein team that won a couple of big sectional games. But the Montclair team taking over for a man who bleeds Montclair blue, and Major Jennings did a great job in 19 years. You guys have stepped in with a nice senior class. You win more than 20 games. It's not easy to do, but you guys pulled it off, and I guess the senior class has certainly helped.
I'll tell you, Major did a great job with them, throughout the 4 years. I know they had a rough go last year, but they were all juniors coming back. And our senior class is great. We couldn't have asked for any more. We talk to them every day, and we're just like, on the phone, we're like, guys, it's crazy. It's just like they want to do well. They listen. They bought into the system, which is the major thing, and they want to do everything we ask them to do. Talib and Isaiah are tremendous players. I mean, Talib is just as good. We compare them to that Columbia team a lot, and we compare Talib to Yvonne and Isaiah to Jameel, and they're all comparable within, Talib can score like Yvonne could, and Isaiah handles the ball just as good, if not better, as Jameel. Jameel was a little bit better of a scorer, but handling the ball wise, Isaiah is tremendous.
Just look at the SEC Liberty season. You see all those teams. Interesting year. University, Elijah Allen, always has good clubs. MKA, you guys split with them. They were an Achilles heel for the program for a few years. You finally knocked them off by decisive numbers. But how about the SEC Liberty season?
It was a good one. Every coach at the beginning of the year, you always go through your schedule and you say, okay, we're going to pencil this one in as a win, this one as a loss, that one and this one. And at first, we didn't know. We penciled in University as a split. We thought they were going to be very good. We know their pedigree. We know what Elijah can do there, and we know he's an excellent coach. And we were actually shocked when we beat them the first time around, and we said, you know what, maybe we can go out and beat this team the second time around. MKA was one of those games where we didn't really understand what was at stake. We coached it like we coached our hearts out like we coach every other game, but we had to be on another level that day, and we were even like, oh my God, this is crazy. MKA wanted us worse than they wanted any other team on their schedule, and getting the kids to understand and believe that the second time around was great, because we didn't want to be the ones to lose 5 or 6. It was 5 straight times, I think it would have been, if we had lost to them, or 5 or 6, and we just wanted that win. Livingston's always tough to play. When you play up on them, they go back door. When you play off of them, they can shoot. They're not one of those teams that's easy, and we compare East Orange to our run-ins at Columbia. Every year, you battles and battles and battles, and we were expecting battles with them all the time. Orange, we didn't know much about, but Orange was very talented offensively. We had to shut them down offensively. We did a very good job against their 2 kids shooting-wise, and I just thought the division top to bottom was good. I didn't expect us to come out with only 1 loss, that's for sure.
And Ricky, you look at coaching lineage. You mentioned Livingston, Dave Cohen, nephew of Herbie Cohen, a legendary coach at Woodridge. You have coaching in your blood. It must be fun just to go out and scout these teams and just follow basketball in general in New Jersey.
It's great. I love coming to games. You know, you always pick up, me being a young guy and a young coach, I always want to pick up things as far as what I would do for when I become a head coach, hopefully one day. And just watching these games and watching Jerry and watching other guys out there, I kind of get a feel for the game a little bit better, and I understand what's going on. And, you know, even though you're not in the moment, you pick up key situations, and I'm able to use those situations and put them up here and say, okay, if I was in this situation, what would I do? And I'm always keeping my mind, you know, sharp like that, like just kind of like, oh, if I was here, I would do this, or I learned this from this guy or that from that guy. And like I said, I mean, coaching in the Liberty division, you've got some really good coaches and you learn a lot. Backdoors from Livingston is always good to add, and the way Isaiah Allen attacks on defense is always great. So you just learn some great things by watching games.
Well, Ricky Pinto, I want to thank you for stopping by here on Sideline Chatter Spotlight. Outstanding assistant coach at Montclair, Ricky Pinto. When we come back, more on Sideline Chatter Spotlight, brought to you by 360 Fitness in Fairfield. I hope you've enjoyed this segment of Sideline Chatter Spotlight. We had some wonderful guests talking about the 2012-2013 basketball season. Enjoy your state tournament action. Also, I want to remind you to support our advertisers here at Sideline Chatter. And anybody interested in advertising with us, just email me at steve@sidelinechatter.com. Thanks for watching Sideline Chatter Spotlight, brought to you by 360 Fitness.